ഓണാക്കാൻ ഓഫാക്കാൻ എനിക്കറിയാം, അത് പ്രശ്നമില്ല. ഇപ്പോൾ ഓണാണ് മൈക്ക്. കേൾക്കാമോ നിങ്ങൾക്ക്? മൈക്ക് ഓണാണ്.
കേൾക്കാം.
അതെ, ഇനിയിപ്പോൾ സ്ക്രീനിൽ എനിക്ക് ഇനിയുള്ളത് പ്രസന്റേഷനാണ്. പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ഓക്കെ.
Participants, please wait. I think sir has some connection problem. We'll wait for it to get solved.
Sir, we'll wait for a couple of minutes, then we'll start this session. So shall we start, sir? Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
your
sir.
mic is off.
Mic is moved, sir.
Is it audible now?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
audible
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Should I directly start, or you want to introduce something like that?
Sir,
Is there an introduction?
we
or-
have to read your profile and do that and immediately pass on the floor to you.
Okay.
Let me now invite Rehana to read out the profile of Professor Kunyikrishnan.
It's my honor to introduce E. Kunyikrishnan Sir to the distinguished participants of the FTP. E. Kunyikrishnan started career as a lecturer in zoology in the Government Victoria College in October 1985, worked in Chittoor Government College from 1988 to 1995, and from 1998 onwards, he worked as Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, University College Thiruvananthapuram, retired from service on 2014, and as Associate Professor and Head, Department of Zoology, University College Thiruvananthapuram. He completed MSc Zoology with Entomology as special subject from Department of Zoology, University of Calicut, postgraduate diploma in Environment Law, Law Academy, Thiruvananthapuram, and certificate course in Epigraphy from Kerala Council for Historical Research. He has experience in various forest regions in the Western Ghats, especially Parabiculam Sanctuary and Irabikulam National Park, in studying ecology and wildlife. He is a resource person to various scientific bodies and government departments like Kerala Forest Department, State Council for Science, Technology and Environment, Kerala Biodiversity Board, etc. And he is a member of National Academic Committee in the conduct of national level program of the National Children Science Congress, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Photo documentation of the biodiversity of the Western Ghats is his ongoing activity, and excavating the ecological history of the Western Ghats is his present passion. And he made an expedition to Antarctica in January 2017 and an expedition to Costa Rica rainforest in June-July 2018. Published many popular articles and scientific papers in various journals and periodicals on topics like forest and biodiversity conservation, environment protection, etc. We welcome you, sir, to the FTP, and we request you to start the session.
Okay, thank you very much, Rehana. And here, I was actually asked to make a presentation, living in harmony with happiness with nature, living in happiness, in harmony with nature, whatever it is. So actually, I was asked to make such a presentation in a time where the entire world is not happy, not that happy. We are also not happy because we have this program itself online, because we are not permitted to be in a room together. More than 20 people are not permitted. More than 40 people are not permitted in some places. So the entire world is actually undergoing through some kind of agony. We are not happy because of the pandemic. We all know for the last 2 years, we are going through that agony. So what happened actually? One thing. Then just the entire week, I was reading about the flood in North India, in UP, Bihar. People are in trouble. So what is happening to nature? So are we in harmony with the nature? So first we will have to know what is meant by happiness. Happiness in harmony with nature. So we think that if we are in harmony with nature, we will be happy. If we are not happy, we will have to see that we are not that much in harmony with nature. Okay. So happiness is that feeling that comes over you when you know life is good and you can't help but smile. That is why I have shown that smiley in the initial slide. So we all smiles, nothing to worry about. All are happy. It is opposite to sadness. Because now the world around, the people are not that happy. Many people are very sad. Many of them lost their near ones, loved ones. Okay, happiness is a sense of well-being, joy, contentment. Yeah, it is a kind of well-being. We think that yes, everything is okay, and we are very joyful also, and we are in that kind of contentment. We are happy about it, what we have. Okay, so actually, how this is being attained? Nature provides means by which things come to life, protect themselves, grow to maturity, reproduce, and die to be recycled to support a future generation of life. Yeah, that is the law of nature. Okay, since people are a part of nature with a basic nature of our own, sustainable living must be also sustainable living must also be in harmony with nature. Yes, that paragraph is very important because we are part of nature. We cannot be away from nature. We are part of nature always. When you fight against nature, you are fighting against yourself because we are part of nature with the nature of basic nature of our own. That also you will have to understand. When sustainable living, that is the kind of words we are using: sustainable development and sustainable living, and also must be in harmony with nature. If we are having a kind of sustainable living, it is thought that we are in harmony with nature. Okay, so I just take the quotation from John Muir. He is a Scottish American naturalist, and yes, he is a very what he was a traveler, he's a naturalist, and he's a Scottish American, settled in America, but from Scotland. Okay, so climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flowers into trees. Okay, the winds will blow their own freshness into you, and the storms their energy, while cares will drop away from you like the leaves of autumn. These are the words by John Muir. I will be using more words from him later. And so, United Nations actually celebrated a decade of biodiversity from 2011 to 2020, till last year. Okay, of course, these 2 years are almost cancelled, because of the pandemic. And it is an extended decade of biodiversity, we can say. So then on top, you can see that living in harmony with nature. And it is the decade of biodiversity. So biodiversity has to do something with the living in harmony with nature. So just understand that. Actually, why I was asked to make such a talk, because I was actually working in the forest, the ecology, and especially in the Western Ghats, and I was traveling around in the world. I had been in the introductory remarks. It is mentioned that I had traveled to Antarctica, I had gone to Costa Rica rainforest. Then I was actually a student of biodiversity, I can say, especially looking into the biodiversity of the Western Ghats, what is happening, and to conserve the biodiversity of the Western, what we will have to do, what is happening to the biodiversity, how it is connected to nature, how to connected to humans' existence. If we are not happy, why are we not living in harmony with nature? We will look into that, and basically we are part of the Western Ghats, and I have experience in the Western Ghats, so I will be looking into the Western Ghats and what is happening to the Western Ghats and how it is having an impact on the happiness of the people living around. Okay, so actually this is very relevant topic because United Nations itself declared 2011 to 20. So we can extend to 22, 23, 25 like that. And a decade of biodiversity and living in harmony with nature is the slogan. Okay, then just I told you the Western Ghats, because it is the lifeline of the peninsular India, and it is running through 6 states, starting from Gujarat, Tapi River, and Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Okay, so it is one of the oldest mountain chains in the world. From Tapi River to Kanyakumari, it is just 1,500 kilometers long. Yeah, from Gujarat to Kanyakumari, maybe around, it is an approximate estimate, it is 1,500 kilometers long and maybe having an area of 1,64,000 square kilometers. One of the hottest hotspots in the world. That point we will look into again, because hotspot means it is a concept put forth by a British ecologist, Norman Mayers, in the year 1988. And he was actually looking into the biodiversity, because we are connecting our happiness to the biodiversity, So here he was looking into what is happening to the biodiversity, and it is very evident that we are losing many things. Many animals, birds have gone extinct, and that where it is happening, he was looking into that, and he found that it is happening in certain parts of the world where many species are endemic. Endemic means they are present only in that area, not elsewhere. Land-tailed macaque, present only in the Western Ghats. We can say that it is endemic to Western Ghats. Nilgiri tar, Varayad, we call it in the local name. It is there only in the Western Ghats, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So all these animals are endemic, and these endemic animals are in peril because dodo is extinct. It is a synonym for extinction because it was there only in Mauritius Island, a small island in the Indian Ocean, not far away from the Madagascar. So after the human colonization in the island, it became extinct. That was far back, maybe around 1651 or so. Okay, so it is extinct because it was endemic to Mauritius. It is extinct in Mauritius means it is extinct from the world. You cannot bring it back. So such places where there are many endemic animals, where we have lost our natural forest or natural vegetation, such spots we will have to be very careful. And the Western Ghats is supposed to be one of the ecological entity where many species have already gone extinct. Much of the natural vegetation has already gone because of various reasons. And we should be very careful about the Western Ghats, where we live. Why we are bothered about Western Ghats? Because it is only just one of the some 34 or 35 biodiversity hotspots in the world. But we live in the Western Ghats. That is why we are concerned about this particular hotspot. Okay, then UNESCO in 2012 July declared Western Ghats, 39 places in the Western Ghats as World Heritage. Means it is the heritage of the world humanity. You cannot say that it is the property of the district or the panchayat or the state or the nation. Even UNESCO has declared 39 places in the Western Ghats as World Heritage. Means now it is the property of the world humanity. Okay, anybody can ask a question about the conservation or loss of an area or any kind of disturbance in this area. Anybody from the world, any part of the world, they will be questioning because it is the World Heritage. The world has declared or admitted that it is a World Heritage, such an important area in the world. Okay, then this is the Western Ghats map you are seeing. Among the Western Ghats means on the western part of the peninsular India, from River Tabi to what is it? Kanyakumari, and there is a gap, that is the Palghat gap, Tamil Nadu part. You can see that Palghat, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, their connection. So actually, what is the importance of Western Ghats? Can you explain it in one sentence? Somebody may be asking you why you consider Western Ghats so important. Just this is the answer for it. Roughly 6% of the geographical region of the nation of India but home for 30% of the flora and fauna. Okay, it is just 6%. 6% means it is a very minor part of the geographical region of India. So I have already told you that is 1,64,000 square kilometers. That is only less than 6%. But it is home for 30% of the flora and fauna, because India is supposed to be a mega diversity country, one of the mega diversity countries in the world. It is supposed that there are 17 or 18 mega diversity countries, and India is one of the important mega diversity countries in the world, and it is because of the Western Ghats and the Northeast. On the other side, you can see that there are more than 325 globally threatened species in the Western Ghats, and at the last part you can see that more than 51 are critically endangered. Critically endangered means they can go extinct anytime. So that is the importance of the Western Ghats. Then why Western Ghats is so important? And there is another phenomena. That is the monsoon. We will be having a monsoon in a particular Mausam. Mausam means a particular month. That is why it is monsoon. Maybe in the part of the Kerala part, southern part, it starts from the Sri Lanka, then move to Kerala, then towards north to Maharashtra, like that. So here, the monsoon will be starting at a particular time, maybe somewhere around June 1st every year. Sometime it will be late, sometime it will be advanced, but more or less it will be somewhere around June 1st. Why? There is a reason for that. No? And this monsoon decides the well-being of the people in the entire stretch of the Western Ghats. More than 22 crore people are staying there, and 40% of the drainage of India is depending on the Western Ghats. You can just imagine the importance of it. Not only the rivers flowing west from Kerala, Karnataka, Goa, and Maharashtra, but many rivers, the major three rivers at least, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri, flowing towards the east, is also getting started from the Western Ghats. Origin is from the Western Ghats itself. So if you look at that, more than 40% of the drainage of India is actually depending on the Western Ghats. So the mountain, we belong to the mountain, and this mountain is responsible for the well-being of the human beings or nature, and it is controlling the monsoon. So it is actually the mountain, Western Ghats, which will be giving us happiness. Why? Because we are very happy if the monsoon is in time. We are not happy if it is a drought, and we are not happy if it is too much rain, then it will be a flood. So everything is actually being controlled by the mountains to a certain extent. Not always. If it is a flood or too much rain means it need not be always controlled by one, but a mountain is having a control. Okay, to decide how much should be the surface runoff, how much should be percolated. All this can be decided by the condition of the mountain. Okay, then I had told you, there is some difference when we compare Pacific, Atlantic, and the Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean, the northern region is the landmass, but here in the Atlantic and Pacific, there is North Atlantic and South Atlantic, North Pacific and South Pacific. Both sides, north and south, it is ocean only. But in the case of the Indian Ocean, only in the south we have it and the north landmass. So when the sun is moving towards the north, what will be happening? Maybe after the month of April, there will be the heating up of the landmass, especially the Gangetic Plain and the entire Tibetan Plateau. So there will be a high continental low pressure, hot continental low pressure, and there will be a colder ocean, subtropical high pressure. So always there will be a movement of air because of this pressure difference from south to north. Okay, it will be something like this. See how it will be moving. So actually it is coming from the equator and passing through the eastern part of the coast of Africa, then the Arabian Peninsula, and moving towards east, west to east. So what is there while the moist laden wind from the Indian Ocean is moving from west to east, there is a mountain chain with an average height of 1,300 meters. That's the average height. The highest peak is Anamudi, which is 2,695 meters from the sea level. Okay, so this mountain range will be stopping the rain clouds. Yes, it is capable of stopping the rain clouds. That is why we are getting rain. Okay, in the month of June, because it is this kind of movement is happening in the month of May to June, because of the apparent movement of sun towards north. Okay, then you can just see the satellite picture, during the monsoon, how it happens. See, the entire Western Ghats is stopping the rain clouds, and we are getting copious rain on the western part of the Western Ghats. Means Kerala, the entire Kerala state is on the western part, and the part of Tamil Nadu is on the western part, and the major part of Karnataka is in the Western Ghat. Maharashtra, much part is in the western part. So all these states will be getting copious rain, and the entire river system or the entire hydrology is depending on it, and we are happy when everything is normal. If it is not normal, we are not that happy. So what is it? In harmony with nature and happiness, how it is related. Okay, see the clouds. This is 14/5/2020, last year May. See how the Western Ghats is stopping the clouds and how we get in the rains up to River Tapi. It is shown from Kanyakumari. Okay, on that date it was a good picture. Okay, then rain, we are getting rain, and what is happening to the rain falling on the surface of the earth? Because there should be a kind of forest. This is the profile of a evergreen forest, a tropical rainforest in the Western Ghats, where you have the emergence and the second layer canopy, third layer canopy, fourth layer canopy, like that. Then the rain is falling onto the canopy. the entire shock of the rain will be absorbed by the canopy, and there will be the water percolating, coming down to the surface, forest floor, as a further touch, because the entire shock has been already absorbed by the trees. Then it will be coming down, and there is a process known as percolation, because the floor of the forest will be something like a sponge. Okay, the sponge will absorb the majority of the water, and there will be a percolation down, trickling down. The water will trickle down into the groundwater. It will be in the formation of the groundwater, and the majority of the water will be absorbed, and there is no flood. If your mountains are okay, if your mountains are having that carpet, if your mountains are having that sponge-like surface, if you denude your forest, then the entire water will come down as a flood. Okay, because the surface runoff is too much. The mountains cannot afford, your streamlets cannot afford, the river cannot afford, then there will be a flood. The rivers will be having a floodplain also. Okay, but if your mountains are okay, then that will take care of the rainwater. Even if it is in excess, otherwise something bad will happen. We will go through that, how it is affecting our happiness. Okay, then this is the canopy of a very good evergreen forest in the Sholayar up to Anamudi. You can see now. So that Munnar range, Parambiculam to Munnar. There's the best evergreen forest we have is the Sholayar evergreens, from where river Chalakudi is originating. And you can just imagine the impact of this kind of a rainforest and what will be happening to the water dropping down as monsoon. And part of it will be absorbed by this rainforest. Okay, then maybe percolating into the streams, as some springs will be originating, first order stream, second order stream, third order stream, like that, ultimately forming a river and giving us such a splendid the splendors of our life. Or it is Adirapalli waterfall, where thousands of people are thronging around just to see that, because it is giving us happiness. Okay, nature can provide you with wonderful waterfalls if your mountains are okay. Okay, then it is giving us happiness. Why this many people are going to the waterfalls, the world's very famous waterfalls? Maybe Niagara in the border of Canada and America, USA. Thousands and thousands of people are thronging around the Victoria waterfalls. Anywhere, let it be anywhere. This is one of the loveliest waterfalls in the entire South India. And there is another one namely Jog Falls in Karnataka, in Sharavali River. This is in Chalakudi River. But people, it is having a soothing effect. That is why people are going and sitting there. Okay, so happiness is depending on all these experiences. Okay, then there are mountains, high altitude mountains. I told you that Anamudi is some 2,695 meters from the sea level. It is something like an alpine climate. Even there can be frost in the month of November and December, even in January sometimes. Okay, I experienced it in the month of November even. Frost in the Munnar region, and there are some kind of flowers which will be appearing once in 12 years. There is Nilakurinji, the blue bloom. It is there, and the Nilgiri is having the name because of the blue bloom once in 12 years. And this was the Nilgiri tar I was mentioning you, which is endemic to the Western Ghats, not present elsewhere in the world. And the nearest relative is in the Himalayas, that is the Himalayan tar. And the third species is there that is the Arabian tar in the Sultanate of Oman, in the Al-Hajar Mountains. Okay, so whenever it is a blue bloom once in 12 years, it was there in 82, it was there in 94, it was there in 2006, and the latest was in 2018. You should have seen it, how many people are coming over there, the entire crowd. They want to see the Blue Mountains. Why? It is giving them happiness. They want to see it. So people can be happy only if the nature blooms, only if he see like such a wilderness. So such waterfalls like Adirapalli can make him happy. Such a wilderness can make him happy. Such a blue blooming can make him happy. Seeing animals like Nilgiri tar is making him happy. But for the existence of Nilgiri tar, the blue mountains, the Nilakurinji, and many other types of Kurinji, nature should be intact. We will have to protect them. So to be happy, happiness actually depending on how you protect nature, your forest, your mountains, your wildlife, your biodiversity. Okay, that is why that conservation of the biodiversity was somehow linked to the harmony, living in happiness in harmony with nature. That is slogan arose. Okay, you understand that. Now, what happened? The entire Munnar, part of Munnar is gone. We have more than 57,000 acres under tea plantations, and the tourism is booming up, and the township is coming, and we are losing our Kurungi blooming lands. You can see how we lost part of the bloom, you can see, but here it is lost because that has been already converted into a eucalyptus plantation. So that is happening. That is happening. We are losing our area under blue bloom, the area of the elephants, area of the Nilgiri tar. So, which I think that it will be having an impact on our happiness. Okay, if you are happy seeing the blue bloom, if you are happy seeing the Nilgiri tar around, if you are happy seeing the Anamudi mountains in its full green, if it is not happening, you are not happy. So that harmony, how we can keep, yes, the butterflies around, biodiversity. This is the largest butterfly in our area. Maybe it was thought to be the biggest, largest in India. Now another related species is supposed to be larger with larger dimensions. This is the southern birdwing. Okay. The thing is that the butterfly means the larva, there is a larval form. There are 4 stages, the egg, larva, pupa, and the adult. You are seeing the adult now. This is the male southern birdwing. And these are the on the either side, it is a female. There is a sexual dimorphism. You can identify male and female. These black spots are there in the female, but it is not there in the male. Okay. So this particular butterfly can lay its egg only in a single plant, on a particular plant. There are 2-3 related species, okay, not in a single species, but Arislochia, that is the genus. And that may, or very closely related species. Such a species of plants will be there in the wilderness, in the forest. If you lose the forest natural habitats, you will be losing this butterfly also. I am just taking the example of a single butterfly. We have more than 340 butterflies in the Western Ghats, maybe around 320-25 butterflies, or maybe around 330 in the Kerala part itself. But many of them are in danger because many of them are endemic, just like this southern birdwing. Southern birdwing is supposed to be endemic to peninsular India and of course Western Ghats also, and not elsewhere in the world. So such more than 30 butterflies, 37 butterflies at least are there, which are endemic to the Western Ghats. Means if you are losing it in the Western Ghats, you are losing it from the world. Just like what happened to dodo when it was lost in the Mauritius Island. We lost it from the world because it was there only in the Mauritius Island. It was endemic to Mauritius Island. Okay, such many extinctions happened in the case of many birds and animals. I'm not going into the details. Okay, then many orchids. This is the bamboo orchid, which is there in the Silent Valley region. And yeah, very beautiful orchid. And once again, this is daffodil, Malabar daffodil, they call it. Ipsia malabarica. It is a golden orchid, and it was supposed to be extinct. After 146 years of the first discovery of this orchid from the Malabar region, then those days the British people recorded it as Malabar. It is there in Malabar. After that, nobody has seen it. And maybe in 1979, 1980, it was once again discovered from the Silent Valley, from the grasslands. So it was a discovery after 146 years. It was thought to be extinct. Ipsia malabarica, that is the scientific name. So to protect it, it will be blooming in a particular month. Yeah, it is coming, maybe after September or so. And now becoming very rare. Many orchids are there which are becoming very rare because of the habitat loss, because we lost the forest area, we lost the mountains. That is why many species are becoming very rare. Okay, the large beaked birds. This is very essential for the well-being of the forest, or the survival of the forest, or the continuance of the forest, because many trees in the rainforest will be having very large fruits. they can be dispersed with the large beaked birds only. This is the hornbill. We have 4 species of hornbills in the Western Ghats. And one of the species is endemic, not present elsewhere. That is the Malabar grey hornbill. And this is the Malabar pied hornbill, which is not that common in Kerala region, but very common in Maharashtra and Karnataka region. Okay, they can be seen in large numbers. This is actually from Dandeli in Karnataka. And the survival, that is very important, because without this bird, the evergreen forest cannot flourish, because the dispersal of the seed should happen. That may be done by some bats, maybe by this particular bird. And the pollination should happen. For the pollination also, the honeybees are needed, the insects are needed, the bats are needed, the squirrels are needed, many birds are needed. Okay. And you can just imagine a world without honeybees. Maybe Einstein himself mentioned that the human cannot proceed or survive after, maybe he will be surviving only for another 4 years if the entire honeybees goes extinct. So that is the kind of dependence we have in nature, because if there is no pollination, there won't be any seed formation. If there is no seed, there won't be any new germination of the plants. And if then there is no germination, means everything will go extinct. So that can happen. So we are taking everything for granted, So all the biodiversity elements in the world are very important, because we don't know actually the ecological services they are doing. Actually, they are doing it without our knowledge. Okay, when something is becoming extinct, then only we will start thinking of it. Okay, so this is the Silent Valley evergreen forest. Very heavy rainfall. We are getting heavy rainfall in the area, but everything will be absorbed. And there's Bharatapuzha, the main river, is having a tributary known as Tudapuzha. Tudapuzha is getting its water from Silent Valley region. The major source of water is actually from Silent Valley. And if you look at the Tudapuzha during the summer months, that is the only river which will be live even during the peak summer, because of the evergreen forest of the Silent Valley region. Okay, then land-tailed macaque, once again an endemic mammal, which is one of the most endangered primate, or one of the most endangered monkey in the world. It is the land-tailed macaque, which are confined to the evergreen forest of the Western Ghats. They are there in the Silent Valley, they are there in the Periyar Tiger Reserve evergreens, they are there in the Sholayar forest, but fragments, the habitat is fragmented. Isolated populations are there in the Western Ghats, south to maybe Sharavati Valley and down. Okay, then just from the Silent Valley. So what is happening? Maybe this is not far away from Silent Valley National Park. Actually, this is now in the buffer zone. So after a wildfire, what is happening to the vegetation around? How we are losing the originality. Once the originality is lost, everything is gone, So because it actually evolved through eons, millions of years, but you can lose it within a single fire. So somewhere in the Western Ghats, maybe in the Wayanad, how we are cutting down the entire natural forest and planting with the teak. I can show you again. See, the natural forest, because there is a history behind it, because we were colonized by the British, and they started thinking about, because one of the trees in the Western Ghats, teak, Tectona grandis, was in great demand in Europe. So they converted our major area into teak plantation, cutting down the entire forest. They never looked into the hydrological value, the catchment value. They never looked into the biodiversity value. So, okay, now we are talking about the man-animal conflict. See, this is in Wayanad. The entire region, the part of Wayanad sanctuary, the region has been converted into teak plantation. No natural vegetation. Underneath, you can see only some weeds, which may not be palatable to the elephants and the gore and other animals. And the elephants surely will be coming to the homesteads, because you have banana, you have coconut, you have your rice plants, rice fields, so which are edible, which are fond of, these animals are fond of your cultivated things. So they will be coming out from the forest and raiding your crop, because there is nothing to eat in the forest. We have already destroyed their habitat. So they are coming down. But we will be shouting that, yes, the elephants have come or other animals have come, destroyed our crop. Yeah, that is man-animal conflict. So ultimately, who will win? Only humans. the animals will not be there in the area. Animals, actually, we don't want animals in our habitat, actually dangerous animals. Okay, we are happy if we are seeing it in Periyar Tiger Reserve or Parambikulam Sanctuary, but we never like them in our vicinity because they may be dangerous to our life. That is why. So they will be surviving only in that wilderness. So what should be done? Wilderness should be intact. Okay, you don't want them in Trivandrum city, you don't want them in Ernakulam city, you don't want them in Delhi city. Okay, agreed, you cannot. But the wilderness should be wilderness. You should permit them to be there in the forest. So means you will have to protect the forest if you want to live in the cities you made, because the animals can be there, confined to the, otherwise they will have to raid your crops. So that we will have to. So what is in harmony? What is harmony? Harmony means we will have to think about it. If it is not in harmony, you will have to think why the harmony was lost. You will have to rectify. You will have to think about it. Okay, Gaur, once again, this is what you see around is a weed, eupatorium. That may not be palatable to the Gaur. They will have to come out. And eucalyptus plantation, in the name of softwood plantation, we have converted many natural habitats into industrial plantations. See how we are losing our rainforest after the fire. Okay. Once again, this is at the origin of the Edamalayar River, tributary of Periyar. So how we are losing our forest in the Western Ghats. Once again, Attapadi, the entire catchment of the Bhavani River. Bhavani is tributary of Kaveri, and how we are losing our forest, and everything is have been cut down by humans, and there will be slope failure. There will be landslide around. Okay, so you can just imagine how it is happening. See, where it is intact, the dark forest will be giving you the first trickle of water, the origin of Neyar River in Trivandrum district. Okay, so we have killed part of our wildlife. This is a very old picture, maybe a part of from the Western Ghats itself. On the other part, maybe from the Tamil Nadu part, the plains of Tamil Nadu, maybe somewhere around near to Nilgiris, I think, the base of the valley of the Nilgiris. See how many Gaur we have killed, because we were killing the animals, because we were some kind of a spot hunting. And same with the tigers also. In a single hunt, how many they have killed? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 they have already killed. And by using the elephants and beaters they use, the tigers will be beaten around and they'll be coming to a point. And during the colonial time, many British officers, they were very fond of killing a tiger. They want to kill tigers. They want to shoot tigers. And they will ask the local chieftains to arrange a tiger hunt. Yeah, they will arrange. They will have to obey the master. So they will, see, they are very happy. They are very happy. The people are hiding because they have killed already 3. They have got 3 tigers as trophy, and these people are very happy. And now we cannot be that happy, So what happened after as a result? So then they were thinking that to be happy, they wanted to kill animals. Now we understand that too much killing cannot make us happy, and we will be unhappy, and the fate will be there waiting for us if you kill too much. Okay, if we cross a particular boundary. Okay, so what happened? Many animals have gone extinct. I have already told you, because of habitat loss. 82% of the world animals and birds, they have gone extinct. You know what is habitat loss now? If you convert an evergreen forest to a kind of plantation or some other way, if you lose it, then change in habitat quality. The quality also, you have a forest region, but it is plantation. Your quality is a forest, but the quality is different. Land-tailed macaque cannot live in a plantation. They want the evergreen forest intact. Then habitat fragmentation. Yes, you have cut down. I was talking about that land-tailed macaque population, only fragmented population. It is not having a contiguous. There will not be a gene flow between the populations. That should be happening now. Then persecution and exploitation of the population, collecting and hunting affected 44% of the population. Change in biotic environment, interaction with the alien species. You are introducing many alien species. You are introducing cats. You are introducing wild pigs, your domestic pigs. That is what happened to Dodo, because then there were only birds once. After the colonization by the Dutch people, they brought pigs, they brought cats, they brought mongoose, they brought monkeys. So that was a ground nesting bird, and it could not breed properly. And you are introducing many predators and competitors, and that actually around 12% of the species went gone extinct because of this kind of a competition. Okay, so this may happen. So how we are losing our biodiversity, that is what I am speaking about, because biodiversity has something to do with our happiness, okay, well-being. Then yeah, I was mentioning about that biodiversity hotspot, and the Western Ghats is supposed to be one of the most important biodiversity hotspots in the world. There are only around 34 hotspots in the world, and the Western Ghats with Sri Lanka, along with Sri Lanka, are supposed to be one of the most important biodiversity hotspots. Okay, it is hottest hotspots. There are 7 or 8 considered to be hottest hotspots, and the Western Ghats is one among them with Sri Lanka. Western Ghats with Sri Lanka hotspot number 21. The lion-tailed macaque was shown, and the Nilgiri tar and the Asiatic elephant. And Norman Mayers in the year of 1988 put forth the concept of hotspots, because he was thinking about the endemicity, some animals and plants which are present only in that ecological entity. Then the natural part of the natural habitat is gone. More than 70% is gone. Only less than 30% is now remaining, means with many gone extinct, others are endangered because the habitat is lost. Then it is a hotspot. Okay, so biodiversity hotspots where more than 70% of the natural vegetation is already gone. Higher number of endemic species. Endemic means which are present only in that region in the world. Neelakurinji is present only in the part of that Western Ghats, no, from Nilgiri to Periyar Tiger Reserve, nowhere else in the world. So such a species will be very high, number of species will be very high. And the remaining habitat, the species in the remaining habitats which are under threat, the remaining habitats are fragmented, the remaining habitats have lost their quality, the remaining habitats are contaminated in the case of the river system and all. So that is endangering the entire biodiversity. So that is one thing. So that will be having an impact on your happiness. So to be happy means you will have to keep your wilderness nature intact. Then only the biodiversity will thrive. If there is biodiversity around, then only the humans can thrive. If we can thrive in happiness means that you should be in harmony with the nature. That is what I want to say, speak about. And now it is another kind of phenomena. We talk about climate change. We talk about carbon dioxide emission, fossil fuel. We talk about global warming. Yeah, Earth is being heated. Kind of feverish Earth. And that is actually culminating into climate change. Yeah, seasonally we are getting the monsoon. It is because of that global phenomena, part of a global phenomena. If something is happening to the atmosphere, getting heated up, then your monsoon is also gone. It may be heavy rain. It may not be a rain without season without rain. Anavrishti and Adivrishti, we call it in Malayalam. Actually, it is a Sanskrit word, Adivrishti, Anavrishti, without rain and too much rain. Okay, so all these are actually part of climate change. Climate change is because of the global warming. If you say global warming is because of our human need, it is actually anthropogenic, because of the deeds of the humans. Too much carbon dioxide pumped into atmosphere and too much methane pumped into the atmosphere. They can absorb the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is having that, it's a greenhouse gas. So greenhouse gas emission has, if it is true, it is going to be true, or it is, then it is going to be a climate change. If climate change is true, then it is going to be very difficult. And even the biodiversity conservation and your climate change is having something to do with your pandemics. Let it be this kind of a pandemic of COVID-19, or let it be Ebola, let it be some other kind of many disease germs are emerging out from the wilderness. They were there. Many animals are reservoirs of this kind of virus. Just about this pandemic, we are thinking that it is from the Wuhan market. People are, so it is actually from the animals. So if the animals are intact in the wilderness, then we need not worry. If they are not happy in the wilderness, or you are encroaching into the wilderness and letting loose the animals out, then they will come to your habitat and it will spread its virus, which are detrimental to the humans. Okay, it may not be detrimental to the animals, but they can just act as a reservoir and give it to you, then you are doomed. Yeah, we are in such a pandemic condition now. People are not happy around the world, and the entire world. In 1917, 1918, there was another flu, that is Spanish flu. And after this many years, we are having another kind of, even the First World War itself stopped because of the panic situation, because of the Spanish flu. And more number of people were killed because of the Spanish flu than the war. Okay. So droughts, flood, heat waves, cloudbursts, and intense cyclonic storms. Yes, intense cyclonic storms in the Arabian Sea, I will have to say, because it is having an impact on us. Okay. And the intense cyclonic cyclones in the Bay of Bengal. Yes, we have an impact. Our people are having the impact. Okay, you may be reading about how people are being evacuated. Okay, we will come into that. What is happening to the Western Ghats at least have been occurring frequently over the globe in recent years. Yeah, it was happening in Florida region, Caribbean, and it is happening in the Japanese region, the Philippines region. Yeah, they are experiencing more number of cyclones. Okay, then they may be calling some other name. Some people call it typhoons. Some people call it hurricanes. In the American region, it is hurricane. Okay, we call it cyclones. Okay, the severity of the flood and landslides intensified because of the anthropogenic activities. Okay, and even this era, people are suggesting that it should be Anthropocene era, Miocene. We call it Miocene. Some eras are like that. No, we name the eras. It should be Anthropocene because Anthropozoic. Because anthropo means human related. Because and everything is changed because of the human activities. So any kind of extinction, the rate of it, there is a background extinction, and many animals will go extinct because of natural reasons. But the background, the rate is very, very high. The extinction rate is very high because of the anthropogenic activities. Humans are leading to extinction, many other groups. And ultimately, if he is also part of the web of the life, ultimately he also will go extinct because he cannot live alone. Because we call it as a web of life. And humans cannot make the web of life, but he never weave the web of life, but he can be a strand in it only. So the floods and landslides intensified because of the anthropogenic activity. Mining, land use shift, deforestation, encroachment of the wetlands and the river beds are the reasons for it, because it is increasing. If you encroach into the river beds, what we have seen, what happened in 2018 and 19, the entire region will be flooded, because the flood will be appearing only once in a blue moon, maybe once in 100 years or 50 years, like that. But by that time, if we are actually encroaching into the wetlands and the river beds, means during the time of the flood, everything will be underwater. That is what we have seen around. Okay, so just 2018, intense rain in the Munnar region, and we made some buildings because we wanted to make a government college in Munnar. So we excavated this region, the 90-degree slope. So what happened? During the heavy rain, water percolated in. The slope is already was weaker because of the plantations. Natural vegetation has gone, and we have planted with eucalyptus. The entire slope failed. You see what happened afterwards. The entire slope went down. So we cannot be happy after the slope failing, failure. Many people will be dead. They will be underneath the soil. So that is what happening. I will show you more slides on it. See, that is what happened in Wayanad. It's a scene of a landslide once again in 2018. See how many people were, how many houses were there, everything gone underneath. Just you can see. So after the fury, what happened? These are actually the notebooks and textbooks of an 8th class student. They never came back to take it. Everything gone. So how people can be happy here? Because why that landslide happened? Anthropogenic reasons, because we are not living in harmony with nature. That is why the fury of the nature happened, and what happened ultimately. Okay, see, Plamula near Thisleri in Wayanad. See, one part of the earth actually there was a fissure. Then one part has gone down. See, part of the house is here, the other part is down here, maybe some 20-30 feet down. One part is gone already. So see, this is what happened. After a landslide, everything is gone, Yeah, there was a landslide, the huge landslide in Wayanad in 2018 once again. And Kuruchiyar Mala, that failed, the slope failed, some 5 kilometers long, the entire thing has gone. Then this is one Mr. Moidu. He was telling me that his house was somewhere here. More than 5 houses disappeared from this region. You can see the scale you can make. The people, some people are moving around. They have seen after the landslide, many people came from down to see what happened. Okay, you just make the comparison. You can use that scale. These are humans moving around. The entire region was gone. How people can be happy who lost everything because of the landslide? Why there was a landslide? Because we were not living in harmony with nature. Because it was a slow failure because of the anthropogenic reasons. Okay, August 19, once again, August 4, 2019 August, 2018 August, we had the flood in Pamba, Periyar, Chalakudi, and Achangovilla. But this is about 19, once again. This is actually a report. I had just copied it. Now, 191 people have been killed due to floods across the state of Kerala. Over 2 lakh people have been directly affected by the flood, and 1,318 relief camps opened up in the different part of the state. Okay, so this happened in 11th August 2019. That flood situation and how many people are affected, given the number, how many houses are gone. Yes, because the fury of nature. There was a heavy rain, that is true. But we have prepared the land, already it is fished. So water had gone down and everything came down because the slopes are denuded. There was not that green cover to protect the slope. Slope failed. Okay. Then 2019 report. This was a press report, There have been more than 80 landslides in a span of 2 days. 2 days, 80 landslides, especially in the Idukki district and Wayanad and the Calicut, Malappuram. And said the chief minister, many people who are feared to be buried alive under them are being rescued. It is still a critical situation as the calamities interfere with the rescue operations. Very difficult to rescue, It happened in Wayanad, Kozhikode, Kannur, Kasaragod, and Palakkad. Yes, this is the Kavalappara landslide, which happened in 2019, August 8th, I think. I remember. Yeah, I had been to that place after a week, but then still excavation was going on for the lost people. Searching it was going on. The entire slope failed and came down. Some more than 40 houses disappeared. And I think it is 58 people lost their life, and some could not be still recovered. The bodies could not be recovered. Many bodies, at least 8 bodies could not be recovered. So this is what happened. You see the condition of the house there. And Kerala floods experts point to the role of quarries and the landslides. Yeah, we have umpteen number of granite quarries in the Western Ghats. So many people are speaking about the quarries. Even the landslide of Kavalappara has actually happened under the influence of umpteen number of quarries around, because blasting is going on. So there is a jerking. And yeah, this was actually another quarry near to Nelampur, where it was a stream formerly. Now it disappeared. And many people down lost their drinking water. And this is satellite picture. And this is near to Kavalappara, where we have had that landslide. See, in the satellite picture, you can see many landslides happening around, because many of them were not in the news because nobody lost their life. It's happening in the wilderness. So you can see a quarry here, another quarry here. So this is satellite picture, you can see the scales. So satellite is recording something like this. So many landslides happening around, because many people argue that there is no connection between quarries and landslides. But I see that we will have to study it. We will have to look into that, because see, and rain fury killed in Pune, some 12 people and 28,000 people evacuated. So I'm talking about the Western Ghats, Maharashtra Western Ghats in Pune. Then it was in 2019 once again, September. You can just see at least 12 people were killed, and there were landslides in Pune. So it was a havoc. You can see the flood happening around. And heavy rains wreak havoc in Uttar Pradesh, kills 44 people, and more shower likely today. That was in 2019 again. Okay, September. See what happened. That was in Lucknow. And what is happening now in Uttar Pradesh? Yes, you read the newspaper. What is happening in Bihar now? You look into your channels, news channels and newspaper. So this is being repeated. So once otherwise it was happening once in a blue moon, the cyclones happening. But now the frequency has increased. The frequency has increased. That is the problem. The frequency has increased. See, heavy rains wreak havoc in Uttar Pradesh, kills 44. This is in 2019. You look into today's newspaper, how many are killed in Bihar, how many are killed in Uttar Pradesh, how many went underneath in Himachal Pradesh because of a landslide. So we are hearing about it. It is landslides, it is disaster, natural disaster because of the heavy rain and the fury of nature. So the increase in disaster. How people can be happy in that region? See, much of the human history has been written in terms of an ongoing struggle, man against nature. Okay, man against nature. So we were thinking that nature is against us. We will have to conquer nature, man and nature. Nature is something against man. So man against nature. The forces of nature, the wild beast, the flood, highly contagious diseases have been cast in the role of the enemy of humankind. Yes, it is a wild animal coming to your homestead, it's an enemy. A wild tusker coming to your homestead is an enemy. Yeah, any wild beast or a flood happening in nature, it is your enemy. Okay, so that is what happening. And to survive and prosper, we must conquer nature, kill the wild beast, build dams to stop flooding, find medicines to fight disease, and use chemicals to control pest. Yeah, this is the kind of development we are having. We will have to conquer nature, kill the wild beasts coming to your homesteads. Yes, you are very successful in that. And build dams to stop flooding. Yeah, to stop flooding, we will have to build dams so that in the dams the excess water will be stored. Yeah, we were doing it. Then in many cases it is happening. If the rain is not that intense, the dams may be helping. But when it is too much, the dams could not help us. Okay, find medicines to fight disease. Yeah, we are finding medicines, but a new kind of diseases are emerging. See how we are struggling for getting the vaccines, getting vaccinated against this pandemic, COVID-19. So we are using control pests, chemicals to control pests. New chemicals are being added, and many chemicals are having very detrimental impact on human life. We are hearing about that also. So we have been winning the battles after battle. Yeah, we will be winning a battle. No, we were very well could control many pests. We were could control flood in some situation. We could kill many animals which are coming to us. Yes, we were winning the battles, but we have been losing the war. We just distinguish between the battle and the war. We were winning the battle by technology advancement, by the kinds of stance you were taking, the kind applying such technology and all. Yeah, humans were surely winning many battles against nature, but we have been losing the war. Just try to distinguish between the usage, the battle and the war. Okay. Every time we think that we have won a battle, nature fights back. Yes, nature always seems ready for the counter attack. Yes, you can understand the meaning. People are concerned about whether we can win the battle with the next flood, the next disease, the next pest that we create with our efforts to control the last one. Yeah, while trying to control one pest, we are creating another pest. Okay, there will be outbreak of another pest. Okay, see, it is being repeated. Next, I have taken it. So it is actually the flood situation. It is being repeated. India, 180,000 people were evacuated after the floods in Bihar. That was in 14th August 2017. India, over 4 million hit by floods in Northeast. That is 15th July 2019. Some minister or chief minister looking from a helicopter what is happening down on the earth. Okay, India, Bihar floods leave 25 dead, over 7 million affected, 14th August 2020. last year, August, once again. And just to look at another slide. This is very current one. India, 7 rivers above danger mark in Bihar. Floods affect over 250,000, 250,000. Okay, this is 12 August 2021. Yesterday, just yesterday. And once again, Nitish Kumar, the Chief Minister of Bihar, is looking through the window of the helicopter, very safe in the air, and looking into the flooded region. So that is what happening yesterday. Okay, day before yesterday, he was actually roaming around in the air in an helicopter and looking into what is happening to the state. So why it is being very repeated? No, that is why I have shown all this: 14th August 2017, 15th July 2019, and 14th August 2020, and this is 2021. Just 12th August means today is 13th, and it happened yesterday. So it is happening. It is happening. Yes. So they are concerned with their own safety, health, and well-being. But they are concerned also about the sustainability of the human civilization that continues to live in conflict with nature. Yeah, it continued in conflict with nature. Okay, so they fear we cannot win our war against nature because we are part of nature, the very thing we are trying to destroy. You can could you get the meaning? Because we are part of nature. We are admitting that we are part of nature. You cannot be against nature. And if you are destroying nature, because we are part of nature, the very thing we are trying to destroy. We are trying to destroy the wilderness of which we are a part. We are destroying nature of which we are a part. And if you are destroying nature, you are destroying yourself. Okay. So in 2009, United Nations Assembly proclaimed on 22nd April as International Mother Earth Day. In doing so, the members of the state acknowledge that Earth and its ecosystem are our common home. Okay, and expressed their convictions that it is necessary to promote harmony with nature. Yes, living in harmony with nature. That slogan actually emerged from this: promote harmony with nature in order to achieve a just balance among the economic, social, and environmental needs. Be very careful of economic, social, and environmental needs of the present and future generations. Yeah, we will have to think about the present generation. We will have to think about the future generation. The economic, social, and environmental needs, well-being. Yeah, we are talking about the well-being. It is raining over here, so that is why the sound. The same year, the General Assembly adopted the first resolution on harmony with nature. So that is how the slogan came, you know. So Robert Burns, a Scottish poet, I am truly sorry, man's dominion has broken nature's social union. I'm just taking some quotation from some people who observed nature. And they have spoken about many things. I'm just taking some from that, you know. I'm truly sorry, man's dominion, man's dominion has broken nature's social union. Nature is having a kind of social union that has been broken by humans. Okay. And John Muir, I mentioned about him. He was actually a Scottish naturalist walking in the wilderness, and he was speaking about many things. In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. Yeah, nature can give you back much more you expected. Okay, in every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks. None of nature's landscape is ugly as long as they are wild. That wilderness keep them very beautiful, that loveliness. But once you interfere and destroy that wilderness, it may be becoming ugly. None of nature's landscape is ugly as long as they are wild. John Muir. And another quotation from his writings: thousands of tired, nerve-shaken, over-civilized people are beginning to find out that going to the mountains is going home. Yeah, that wilderness is a necessity. Wilderness is a necessity. Protecting nature is a necessity so that we are happy. Okay, to keep us happy, wilderness is a necessity. Think like that. The sun shines not on us, but in us. The rivers flow not past us, but through us. Yes. We are now in the mountains and they are in us. Kindling enthusiasm, making every nerve cure, filling every pore and cell of us. John Muir. Most people are not in the world, not in it. Okay, no. Most people are on the world, not in it. It is a kind of awning, you know. We should be in the world, not on the world. We are not above nature, but we should be part of nature. And the battle for conservation will go endlessly if human nature is like that, because human is having his own nature. Okay, if the battle for conservation will go on endlessly. It is part of the universal battle between right and wrong. John Muir. It is part of a universal battle between right and wrong. So what is right and wrong? What is right? What is wrong? You will have to decide. Yeah, I will come to that point again. What is right and what is wrong? Okay. God has cared for these trees, saved them from the drought, disease, avalanches, and 1,000 tempests and floods. But He cannot save them from fools. You can think over it. God has cared for these trees, saved them from drought, disease, avalanches, and thousands of tempests and floods. But He cannot save them from fools. And Walden, I just want to introduce Life in the Woods. He has written a book that was far back in 1850s or so. You can just Google it, the year, everything you can find out. The Message of Walden from the Henry D. Thoreau. You need to be one with nature. Thoreau believes that people and nature are both part of each other. Okay, you cannot be away from nature. You can go through it. And so I was talking about what is wrong and what is right. This is the quotation from Aldo Leopold. He has written it in 1949. And actually, he is an American naturalist. And he was actually observing what is happening to the wilderness in America, what is happening to the birds, what is happening to the wild animals. And he was actually writing his diaries. And after his death, actually, his son compiled the writings and put into a book that was San County Almanac. And that appeared in somewhere around 1949. Okay, a thing is right when it tends to preserve the integrity, stability, and the beauty of the biotic community. It is wrong when it tends otherwise. So I was actually that John Muir, he was actually talking about that what is wrong and what is right. It is a fight between wrong and right. So here actually Leopold is talking about what is right and what is wrong, where you are doing right and how it can go wrong. Okay, a thing is right when it tends to preserve the integrity, stability, and the beauty of the biotic community. You need not worry, you are doing the right thing. When it preserves the integrity, stability, and the beauty of the biotic community. You need not worry. It is wrong when it tends otherwise. Yes, you are doing a wrong thing when it is not in tune with the, if you are not not preserving the integrity, stability, and the beauty of the biotic community, you are doing a wrong thing. So you can decide whether I am doing a right thing or a wrong thing. That is what we were speaking about, living in harmony with nature. Okay. So happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it will elude you. But if you turn your attention to some other thing, it will come and sit softly on your shoulder. This is by Henry David Thoreau. That quotation is very important, Happiness, because we are talking about living in happiness, in harmony with nature. So what is happiness? Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it will elude you. But if you turn your attention to some other things, it will come and sit softly on your shoulder. Yeah, that's it. So that United Nations Decade of Biodiversity, that was 2011 to 2020, the slogan was something like that. The first slogan I have already given you. That was actually live in harmony with nature and nature for all. Yes, it is nature for all. Yeah. And it should be all for nature now. We should have a proactive role for the conservation of nature. Then only nature will be intact. And we will have to learn how we will have to live in harmony with nature. Then only we will be happy. The happiness, actually, nature brings us happiness. The mountains brings us happiness. So the wilderness is intact. Nature is intact. The biodiversity is conserved. Yes, we all will be very happy to be around, to see the sunshine. to see the blue blooming of the Nilakurinji, to see the Adirapalli waterfall, to see the jog falls. Okay, but for that, nature should be intact. And we should learn how we will have to live in harmony with nature. Then we all will be happy. We need not be worried. We need not worry about the pandemics. We need not worry about the floods. We need not worry about the landslides. When? If you are living in harmony with the nature, there won't be much flood, there won't be much landslides, there won't be much pandemics. Yeah, pandemic may happen once in a blue moon, but we are creating it now and then, intensifying the cyclones because of the climatic change. Climate change may be because of the global warming. Global warming may be because of the intensification of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That all we assume, this may be the reason. There can be many other reasons, but we think so. Science is talking about that. Okay. Thank you for listening, and live in harmony with nature, and live in happiness in harmony with nature. We will have to learn. And your science and technology, your engineering devices, everything may help you in living in harmony with nature. Yeah, our learning, our knowledge, our wisdom should be used to harness nature, surely, but we should learn how to live in harmony with nature. That is also very important. Otherwise, there is no meaning. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Somebody listening? So I am seeing that some 89 people are listening. At least the mobile or laptop is there. Hello, Dr. Anil Kumar.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Please.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Now it is for the listeners. If they want to ask some question or just share some of their worries, whatever it is, we will share it.
Participants, if you have any questions, please ask, or you can type your questions in the chat.
Questions. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Is there any effect of waves of frequency on these climatic conditions also?
What is
If
it?
we have, if we increase the, if we work on higher bandwidth of frequency range for 5G communication, is there any effect of this frequency, increase the frequency on this climatic conditions?
Actually, I'm not able to answer this question. I don't know actually, because these waves and the frequencies, everything, it is actually being decided by many people. After so many experimentations, actually the impact will be on living bodies. How it will be having an impact on living bodies, our protoplasm, our cells, our genes.
Sir, as per my knowledge, if we higher the frequency, there may be lesser effect on environment, because these higher waves that we call millimeters wave, they do not penetrate, bypass the things. That's why it's in my opinion that there is less effect.
Maybe, but that should be answered by scientists who are doing experiment with this, because we should be very careful while increasing whether it is having an impact on living bodies, maybe human bodies, maybe the egg of a bird, maybe something like that. That is being experimented. I think always there will be some concern about the living organisms, why you increase in the frequency or whatever it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I'm not, I'm looking into the messages. Just I will go through it. Thank you. Session started. Climate change is the issue dealt by government. Individuals has very less to say in this. Okay, Anupam Tiwari. So he is telling that climate change is an issue dealt by government. Individual has very less say in it. But in a democracy, the individuals say, government, what the government will decide, that will be decided by the people. The people's will be reflected in the government's decision. So individuals also are having some role, I think. Okay. Then Tiruvalar Selvan, thank you. Only thanks, but there is no opinions coming around. Okay, people are listening. Thank you, sir. I have some description about nature and environment. Okay, thank you very much. And nature saving is global issue. Yes, it is global issue. That is why I was showing you the issues, at least in the countrywide. I was not talking about the hurricanes we had in Florida, but what is happening in peninsular India and North India. That is why I was speaking about UP and Bihar and Maharashtra, what is happening around. Okay. Any more questions or any suggestions? So what is the best possible way of developing awareness on sustainability practices on climate change at a lower and middle age level group? Okay, that is by Kumar Panda, Sampath Kumar Panda. He has asked a very pertinent question. What is the best possible way of developing awareness? Yes, education awareness is one key thing we will have to do on sustainability practices on climate change and the lower and the middle age group. Yeah, we will have to catch them young. The nature education means we will have to tell them when they are in that receptive stage. Okay, so you while they are in the schools, in the colleges, when they are with you, you can educate them. It should be part of curriculum. It should be out of curriculum also, that they should be taught, and the society should be taught. And through the children, you can actually educate the family. So the sustainability practices, that should be part of curriculum, and they should be given education as part of curriculum and out of curriculum also. It always need not be the part of curriculum. Outside also, you can educate them. And there are many organizations in the schools and colleges. There are National Service Scheme, there are NCC, where you tell them about the discipline and all. And this also can be sustainability practices also can be part of the discipline we will have to undertake, because we should be in harmony with the nature. Okay, then UP Bihar flood is due to Nepal origin rivers, or Nepal has to do it a bit. Okay, it is a global thing, you know. If Western Ghats is part of our Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, but if there is a flood in Kaveri, Krishna and Godavari, Andhra Pradesh, even up to Orissa will be affected, you know, Tamil Nadu, all this will be affected. But it is about that is why it is not at the origin only. The origin should be very intact. That is why it is a global issue. That is why there are international understandings, conventions, treaties like that. Because a country cannot, a district cannot, a government cannot. It should be a intergovernmental. Always climate will be, you might have heard, intergovernmental agreements. It is not just between the countries in Europe or the countries in Asia. It should be, because global, it's a global issue. Global warming is a global issue. Monsoon is the impact on monsoon. Monsoon, we may be enjoying the monsoon coming in, no? But it will be controlled by the temperature in Pacific, the temperature in the Indian Ocean, the temperature in the Pacific region, and also even in the Atlantic Ocean. That also is having a kind of influence, because recently I have read a paper like that. So it is a global issue. When we speak about the climate, it's a global issue. So, but you can think globally and act locally. If it is the carbon dioxide emission is because of your fossil fuel, how to use it judiciously, that you will have to decide, and the country will decide. then it is like that. That is why UN is interfering in many things, how they are declaring some decades. Okay, now it is they have declared it as a decade of restoring the ecosystem, natural ecosystems. We will have to do something to restore. Restore means we have lost, so we will have to restore. So restoring the natural ecosystem means each and every country will have to do it. Yeah, just like opened by Anupam Tiwari, UP Bihar flood is because Nepal, yeah, because all these rivers are coming from the Himalayas. Himalayas means there is Indian part of Himalayas and the Nepal part of Himalayas, and we should be very careful. Okay, then with regard to the Brahmaputra, China can be responsible because it is coming from China and entering into the Indian region through Arunachal Pradesh, and coming down to Assam. So it is a global issue. So all of us should be very careful. Okay. UN is not effective for global issue, but there is no other alternative. The countries, there is the inter-country link means it is one link is UN, United Nations. We don't have other. Of course, there are certain other conventions and treaties going on, but that also may be under the leadership of UN only. That is the only thing existing, the intergovernmental network now in the world. So if it is not powerful, we will have to make it more powerful. That is all. That is the only remedy. Yeah. Why it is? If you think that it is not powerful, make it more powerful. Yes, it is a democratic system. So these are the messages appeared, and I was trying to comment on it. Not answering all the questions because I cannot answer any of the questions, because we are all lamenting about what has happened. You and me know what is happening, and individually we cannot do anything. But we will have to put our opinions. Yes, as the part of the academic world, we will have to talk about it because we will have to educate the next generation. Where is the next generation? They are with you. You are teaching them. You teach them properly. If they are not understanding, it is not their problem, but your problem. You are not teaching them. You are not convincing them. We teachers are failed. They have failed. If you cannot complain that this generation, they are not understanding any of them. You never try to make them understand. If you speak them properly, communicate them properly, they will understand. So you cannot blame them. You will have to blame yourself. So you be proper, or you be very effective in communication. So what is the remedy? Because the remedy is with us. You teach your next generation, your children, your students, then they will learn it. They will take it positively. Okay, that is the only remedy. Okay, thanks Anupam Tiwari and others, Sambat Kumar Panda, for asking questions, for being very attentive. And okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kunyikrishnan sir, for your words of wisdom. And on behalf of College of Engineering, Karunapalli, I am presenting an e-memento to you. Kindly accept it.
Oh, already accept it. It is there on my laptop screen. So it is there with me now.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, thank you. So can we end the session?
Yes, sir.
People
Yes,
will be
sir.
hungry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was very slightly scared, because there is no power here. It went off in the morning, but luckily my laptop was fully charged before that, so that I was able to present it. Still 42% is remaining. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Anikumar, thank you. So, Dr. Anikumar and your team, thank you very much for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to communicate your people. And okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Participants, feedback form is shared in chat. Afternoon, you have a quiz session, and it will start at 3 p.m. You